Okay, so I'm gonna show you a quick way you can have lunch. So we'll take the meat and we'll take some butter. This is a lunch that is kind of healthy, you know, like whole food, no junk food shit. So this is a good way if you're trying to eat healthy and you have like small time to cook. You also don't want to waste too much time. Now we'll also cook some eggs. Let's take some eggs. I'll also take some tomatoes. I will eat this raw. Okay, so let's do the meat first. Let's drop the butter into the pan. And let's open the meat. So let's turn on the pan real quick. What time is it? 13:43. As well, this is gonna be a very quick one. So meanwhile the butter is melting, let's wash some tomatoes. Bam, let's take a plate. Let's plate everything. I want a white plate. I'm very racist. Alright, so let's drop the tomatoes in. Okay, butter is melting, we can drop in the meat. Bam. Bam. It doesn't matter if the butter didn't fully melt. It will melt eventually. You don't have to stress too much over this. Okay, so let's try to feed evenly the pieces of meat into the pot. It doesn't have to be extremely precise because eventually the meat will shrink, so you don't have to be too careful about that. So if you're bulking, I suggest you can add some more butter. If you're not bulking, then just stick to this amount of butter. But let's cut some tomatoes. Okay, so we will cut the tomatoes, and after this is cooked, and by the way I will higher the heat because it's very slow, so it will cook faster if I put the heat higher. Let me higher it. Okay. So we'll also cook the eggs inside that. Oh, and before I forget, remember to add the salt to taste. Obviously I often overdo it, so we'll try to go slow on it, and in case I don't like it I will add I will add more salt later. Yeah, but add salt. This is necessary, otherwise your food will suck. If you're cutting, if you have to have a calorie deficit and you have to fill yourself up, I will take some more vegetables, maybe some carrots, and I don't know, some sauerkrauts. I mean, I advise you to use sauerkrauts independently of if you're cutting or bulking, as they are extremely healthy for your gut microbiome. So let's add some sauerkrauts to my plate. And by the way, you can eat as much of this stuff as you want if you're cutting. Obviously, if you have to count calories, go ahead, but usually if you just eat this whole food, you will not be able to fill yourself up too much. Okay, so let's put this back and let's turn around the meat. With your bare hands, with a fork, you can choose. I will use a fork. 1, 5, and 9. So let's lower the heat. It doesn't need to be so hot now. So let's let it cook just for a few more minutes, and then we can take this away. Meanwhile, we can fix the kitchen. So put this away, throw the trash away, put this back into the fridge. Okay, so the meat is cooked. We can put this into our plates. Bam. So we made our meat, and now we will make the eggs. So I mean, this is already filling, but since I'm used to to bulking, I will also add some more eggs because eggs are nutritious as fuck. They're also very filling. Now you tell me, if you're cutting, if you're on a calorie deficit, how the fuck can you not be full by this? Okay, if you eat this, and by the way, this is not many calories. Okay, the most calorie dense thing I added is the meat. Like I ate a lot of meat, but trust me, like if you eat a lot of this meat, you will be satiated. In fact, I'm not even sure I want to make the eggs. But yeah, so in case you're bulking, keep eating. I will make a few eggs. So if you notice, I have some leftover like meat scraps, and that will be extremely delicious. You will infuse the flavor of the meat into the eggs. Okay, you will infuse the savoriness of the meat, you know, the umami. So scramble the eggs inside this pot. They will cook very fast. You can even raise the heat if you want. You can add some heavy cream. I have some heavy cream. I will not add it because I'm not bulking and I don't want to open this whole box just for that. You can put some heavy cream though. Add some salt. If you want to add some acidity, go ahead, add some vinegar. As always, if you want your food to taste good, follow the pleasure hypothesis. Try to include as many of these pillars as possible. Today we have pretty much every of them except digestibility. So we have savoriness from the meat, saltiness from the salt, fattiness from the butter. We also have acidity and saltiness from the sauerkrauts, and we also have sweetness from the tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes are also a little bit acidic and also a little bit umami, so we got all the pillars today. Well, I mean, not all of them. Like the digestibility is missing, so we are not having bread, but there are most of them. So eggs are ready. We can put them into the plate. All right, so is everything done? Let's put some water into the pot so it is easier to clean. Oops. So it is easier to clean later. Drop the water. Nice. Let's turn everything off, and that's it. How much time passed? Less than 10 minutes basically. A few minutes probably, yeah. And we got ourselves a healthy meal that is also pleasureful, and it didn't create too much of a mess, okay? I can throw this away here. Oops. Here. I can wash this here. I can put this back in. I mean, no, I can throw this away. I can put this back into the fridge. Bam. No dishes you have to wash, there is no mess created. You just have to clean one pan and one plate, and that's it. Take this, put it into your table. If you need to get more calories in because you're bulking, consider sprinkling on some olive oil, or even while cooking, try considering like adding some more butter. But this is kind of it. So yeah, took no time. Cooking is very easy and it's very quick. It's also very tasty if you know what you're doing, if you follow the pleasure hypothesis. The meat is tasty. Let's try with the tomato. Yeah, very good. Sauerkraut adds acidity. Everything is great here. Take a bite.
Juice man up in this motherfucker. My nigga Everclear, the Joker, and Lil Jen finna break y'all some profit. Like this, biatch.